You don't have a hair growth problem. You have a hair retention problem. Your scalp grows half an inch every month. Same as it did in 1952. Same as it always has. If the length isn't there, it didn't fail to grow. It broke off. 13 things the women of 1953 knew about keeping it. Number 9 is a kitchen herb. A 2015 study found it worked as well as the most prescribed treatment for hair loss on the market. Number 1 is not a technique at all. 13 rules, starting now. Number 13, she never used an elastic band. On the dressing table in the house on Glenwood Avenue, there was no rubber band. Not one. In their place, a strip of cotton ribbon from the sewing basket, pale blue, cut into lengths, tied in a flat knot. Rubber bands arrived in drugstores for hair use in the late 1940s and spread quickly through the 1950s because they were cheap and fast. Ruth would not use one. Her mother had told her why. A rubber band does not slip through the hair. It grips. And when you remove it, the snap off, the slide out, the edge catches each strand it passes and shears it. You will not feel it. The sound is too small to hear. But across a year of twice-daily ponytails, the number of strands removed at the point of contact is not small. The scrunchies sold to prevent this damage now run $8 to $14 a piece. They replicate what a strip of cloth ribbon from the sewing basket did for free. No edge, no grip, no shear. The cloth ribbon ties and releases without catching a single strand. Every inch she grew in a month was still on her head at the end of it. Number 12, she detangled in sections, fingers first. She did not take a comb to her hair and start. Not from the top, not from the ends, not from anywhere. She started with her hands. Her hair was divided into 4 sections, clipped with the bent hairpins she had had for 8 years. Section by section, fingers in first, working from the ends upward, sliding through knots, finding the tangle before the comb did, loosening it by hand. Then, and only then, the wide-tooth comb entered the section from below. A comb meeting a knot has 2 options: work through it or break it. At the point of breakage, strands snap, not one strand. Sometimes 30 or 50 from a single bad tangle caught at full speed with a fine comb from the root. She never let the comb find a knot first. Her fingers did. Her fingers do not break hair. The detangling tools sold for this purpose now run $25 to $40. They solved the problem her fingers solved for nothing. The technique cost her time. The alternative cost her length she could never get back. Number 11, she braided it at night. Not wrapped it, not covered it, braided it. Before bed in Raleigh, Ruth parted her hair from ear to ear and brought each half forward into a loose braid. Not tight, never tight. A braid pulled taut at the root, pulls at the follicle, secured at the end with a strip of ribbon. This is different from a head covering. A covering protects from friction with the pillow. A braid does that, and one thing more, it locks the hair into a shape that cannot tangle during sleep. Hair that cannot tangle cannot knot. Hair that cannot knot cannot require the force that breaks it at detangle time. By morning, the 2 braids were the same braids she had put in. Not a single knot had formed. The detangle that followed took 4 minutes instead of 40. The length of her hair was her hair minus the amount that had broken off. For 30 years, the amount that broke off was almost nothing. This is part of how. Number 10, she made a rinse from rosemary. On the back porch in Raleigh, there was a clay pot with 3 rosemary plants. They were for cooking. They were also for her hair. Every 2 weeks, a small handful of fresh stems dropped into 2 cups of water, brought to a boil, covered and left to steep until the kitchen smelled like a July garden. Strained through a cotton cloth, poured over the scalp while it was still warm, worked in with her fingertips, left for 5 minutes, rinsed away. In 2015, a study published in the journal Skin Med compared rosemary oil directly against minoxidil, the active ingredient in Rogaine, the most widely prescribed treatment for hair loss today. After 6 months, both groups showed equivalent hair density. The group using rosemary had fewer side effects. Ruth did not have that study. She had 3 clay pots and 30 years of hair that reached her waist. What Rosemary does is increase blood flow to where the work is happening. More circulation at the root means more of what the body produces reaches the follicle. The 2015 study confirmed what she already knew without needing the name for it. Every 2 weeks, free. Number 9, she diluted her shampoo. The bottle of luster creme that Ruth kept on the shelf was never used as it came. Not full strength, never full strength. 2 tablespoons into a cup of water in a small tin can kept beside the basin. Shaken, then poured. Shampoo is a detergent. At full strength, it does not distinguish between the oil it was meant to remove and the moisture that belongs in the shaft. Diluted, it still cleans. It does not strip. The women who shampooed full strength every day in the 1960s noticed something by the 1970s. Their hair was drier at the ends than their mother's hair had been. Not because they shampooed more often, because nobody told them about the tin can and the tablespoon. A 1-to-8 dilution still cleans the scalp. The foam is less dramatic. The clean is the same. What the shaft holds on to, the moisture that belongs there, is the difference between an end that holds and one that dries and splits. Ruth's tin can cost nothing. The sulfate-free, gentle formula shampoos sold as a solution to this problem now start at $12 a bottle. Before we continue, the elastic band was not accidental. Rubber bands for hair use were cheap and widely sold from the late 1940s on. The professional products that replaced them created the category of damage they claimed to solve. The hot comb and the electric curling iron work the same way. Introduce the tool that damages, sell the treatment for the damage, return to the store for 3 new products you didn't know you needed. Ruth's Saturday routine cost her 50 cents a year. Total, not per product. The hair loss treatment industry generates over $3 billion annually in the United States alone. She already had what it was selling. Number 8, henna, once a month. On the first Sunday of each month, Ruth brought out the henna powder. Not for color. Pure henna, the kind sold at the pharmacy in the 1950s. Red, brown, and earthy smelling, mixed with warm water to a paste the consistency of mud. Applied section by section across the full head, covered with a tight-wrapped cloth. Left for 2 hours while the afternoon ran. Then washed out in the kitchen sink. A process that left the basin stained the color of old brick and the bathroom smelling like something ancient and green. She did it because her mother had done it and her grandmother before her. She did not know why it worked. She knew that it did. What henna does is bond chemically with the protein inside each strand, not sitting on the surface but woven into the structure. The strand becomes harder to snap. A hair that does not split does not lose its length. The henna from the pharmacy in 1951 ran 30 cents a box. A salon gloss treatment that performs part of the same function now costs $40 to $80 and lasts approximately 3 washes. Ruth's lasted 6 weeks and cost her a Sunday afternoon. Number 7, the updo kept the ends safe. She did not wear her hair down during the week. This is not a style observation. It is a mechanical one. Hair worn loose is in continuous contact with the world. The collar of a dress, the back of a chair, a coat lining, a hand that reaches back absently. Each contact is a small friction event. Multiplied across 12 hours a day and 5 weekdays, the total stress on the ends is considerable. The low bun she wore Monday through Friday, pinned at the nape with 2 wooden pins, 12 cents for a cart of 12 at Woolworths, tucked the ends away. The ends touched nothing. They did not rub against the collar. They did not catch on anything. From a friction standpoint, they did not exist until Saturday. 5 days out of 7, her ends were in storage. On Saturday, they were still there. Length is not lost in a single bad moment. It is lost in contact, incident by incident, each one too small to notice, until the total is already visible and already irreversible. Take the ends away from the contact, and the contact cannot find them. Number 6, Vaseline on the ends, not on the scalp. The scalp is never the problem. After the rosemary rinse had dried on Saturday morning, Ruth ran the tip of one finger across the surface of the Vaseline jar she kept on the porch shelf. 1 fingertip's worth, worked along the bottom 2 inches of each section, not the mid-shaft, not the root, not the crown, only the ends. The end of a hair strand is the oldest point on it. It left the follicle years ago and has been through every wash, every comb, every pillow, every collar since. Its cuticle is the most worn, the most porous, the most likely to split. Petroleum jelly, 23 cents for a large jar at any drugstore, forms a film over that porous cuticle. The film holds moisture in. It holds friction out. It does not repair damage already done. It prevents the next round of damage from occurring. The end serums sold for this purpose now start at $18 for an ounce. They contain silicone, which forms a similar film by a different chemistry. Ruth's film cost her approximately 3 cents per application, every Saturday, 32 years. Her ends were there at the end of them. Number 5, steam once a week. On the stove on Saturday, the smallest pot. 2 cups of water brought to a full boil. A cotton dish towel, worn soft from years of washing, dipped into water hot enough to sting, wrung out just enough to stop the drip. The towel went over the head while it was still steaming. She sat at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee, the warm weight of the cloth against her scalp, nowhere to be until noon. The heat opened the cuticle, not with chemicals, not with force, but with warmth and humidity, the way the inside of the follicle works when it grows a new strand in the first place. With the cuticle open, moisture moved in. After 20 minutes, the towel came off. The hair cooled. The cuticle closed around what it had absorbed. Professional steam machines sold for this purpose run $70 to $120. Ruth's pot cost 12 cents in 1948 and was still on the stove in 1975. A hydrated shaft bends. A dry one snaps. Every week she gave the hair what the wash and the weather had taken out. She bought 1 more week of length without breakage. Here is the thing. Ruth was not trying to grow her hair. She was trying to not lose it. The hair industry sold growth, serums, vitamins, treatments as if the problem were that the body wasn't doing enough. The body was doing fine. The problem was everything interrupting it. Hair grows. The follicle is doing its job right now. The question has never been whether it grows. The question is how much of what it grows you get to keep. Every item on this list is an answer to that question. The original answer was a Saturday morning in Raleigh with a pot of rosemary and nowhere to be until noon. If you want the full collection of what these women knew, the complete routines, the products, the habits they never thought to name, it is at nostalgiawomen.com. Number 4, she trimmed twice a year. Not when it looked bad, not reactionary, on a schedule. Spring and fall. Ruth trimmed her own ends in March and in October. Not a haircut, a trim, the last 1/4 inch removed cleanly with the sewing scissors she kept sharp for this purpose only. The blades were dedicated. No paper, no fabric, no other cutting. Only hair and only twice a year. She did not trim because the ends were visibly split. She trimmed before they had the chance to split all the way up. A split caught at a 1/4 inch costs a 1/4 inch. A split left to run for 6 months climbs 2 to 3 inches up the shaft before it breaks. The twice yearly trim was the cheapest insurance she ran. A 1/4 inch out in exchange for not losing the 3 inches that split would have taken. The women who did not trim lost the same amount and more, just without the control of when and how much. Number 3, gelatin twice a week. On Tuesdays and Fridays before dinner, a cup of warm water with 1 packet of Knox unflavored gelatin dissolved into it, taken with whatever she was already drinking. No other preparation beyond the stir. Hair is built from protein. So is gelatin. Not the same protein exactly, but close enough that the body can draw on one to build the other. When the follicle reaches for what it needs to grow the next strand, it uses whatever the body has available. Giving it more to work with costs 3 cents and takes 30 seconds. Knox marketed their unflavored gelatin for hair and nail strength through the 1950s, and the women who tried it reported what Ruth's mother had already told her: less breakage, more length held. The mechanism was not fully understood then and is still debated now. What 3 generations of women observed about the result has since held up to scrutiny. A packet of Knox gelatin in 1952 cost 3 cents. Hair supplements marketed with clinical-grade collagen now run $40 to $60 a month for a version of the same idea. She took it twice a week for 30 years. She did not know it had ever been given a clinical name. Number 2, no heat during the week. She did not own a curling iron. At the salon at the corner of Glenwood and Pace, there was a Marcel iron and a hood dryer with a timer. Ruth went twice a year, before Thanksgiving and before Easter Sunday. On those 2 visits, heat touched her hair. Every other day of the year, it did not. Her daily styling was cold, pin curls wound the night before, fastened with the metal clips she had kept since 1943, opened in the morning into curls that held all day without the smell of burning or the heat that dries the shaft from the inside out. For variation, a braid, an updo, a chignon pinned at the neck, nothing requiring a heat source. Heat denatures protein. The bonds in the keratin break and reform into a new shape, and that shape is what you paid for. One event causes no visible damage. 365 per year for 20 years is the hair that arrives at 40 with the texture of straw. Her hair at 44 had the texture of the hair she had carried at 20, because it had never been exposed to anything designed to change it. The heatless curl kits sold today, foam rollers, satin-lined systems, and spiral rods, run $15 to $45. They replicate what a handful of metal pins and a Saturday night accomplished for free. Number 1, she understood what she was working with. Here is what every item on this list was doing when you look at them together. Not one of them tried to improve the hair. They tried not to damage it. The loose braid instead of the elastic, no damage. The finger detangle before the comb, no damage. The Rosemary rinse at the scalp, support the follicle. The Vaseline on the ends, protect the oldest point until the next half an inch arrives to replace it. The updo 5 days a week, keep the ends away from the world. The steam, put back what the wash took out. The twice-yearly trim, stop the split before it climbs. Ruth understood something the hair care industry has spent 60 years obscuring. A healthy strand leaving a healthy follicle is already what you want. Your job is to not interfere with it between the root and the floor. You are not growing hair. You are protecting a process that is already happening on its own. 13 rules, none of them from a store. Start somewhere. The nighttime braid costs nothing and takes 2 minutes. If the length has been going somewhere it shouldn't, it stops going there tonight. Leave a comment with whatever you recognized, a habit you grew up watching, something she did that nobody ever named. I want to know which house this was already in. Subscribe if you want more. There is a great deal more.